Morning, everyone. How are we doing today? So, as I get ready for another marathon day with my tax accountant, I thought it was probably a good idea just to talk about last week in context of this week. And really, what I want to sort of share and communicate is I don't believe last week was a bubble popping, right? I have lived through and invested through several bubble popping scenarios, whether that was the dot-com crash, whether that was the financial market after Lehman went out, whether that was real estate going from 260 to 75. I've seen that, felt it. I've had multiple iterations of that. So I don't want you to think, hey, the bubble popped last week. This week will be better. No. I'm not saying it's going to be better or worse this week. I just want you to know that last week was not a bubble popping. How do I know that? Well, when I've gone back and looked at the data, the stocks, while the nearly 4,000 point drop it's a big number. It's really not all that big on percentage. It was fast, right? 6 or 7 trading days. It was fast, but it wasn't. It was too orderly, if that makes sense, right? People were clearly taking haircuts because stocks are nothing but a future earnings, right? That's really what they are. You take a PE times expected earnings, and when the expected earnings get whacked, stocks should fall. So I thought each day was orderly. I did expect a little noise Friday, the last half hour, but it actually went the other direction. I believe I talked about in the Friday morning daily session that we do together that it could go either way, right? It could deteriorate, or people can come in and kind of bid the bottom. So it looks like they bid up. Uh, the news over the weekend, at least in the U.S., I don't think has been encouraging. We've had a fatality. We've had a growing number of untraceable infections. There's now more and more talk about school closings. They're even talking about canceling sporting events. You know, this is going to get, I'm afraid this is going to get worse before it gets better. But again, from an investor perspective, be Warren Buffett, right? Be ready with cash to take advantage of unique situations. Morgan Stanley put out something this morning I thought was interesting, kind of the best case, base case, worst case. And even in the worst case, this was over by Q3, right? So we're going to have a window of time where we as investors can go shopping, right? A lot of your peers are going to be afraid. They're going to do what people did last time. They're going to keep their cash in a bank. They're not going to. They're just going to sit on their hands. And if you watch this channel, you know that. Well, we're going to take a shot, right? We're going to take our cash positions and we're going to buy some real estate assets because cost of capital is way down. You may never see these rates again. I feel like a broken record. We say that so often. But if you're a stock market investor, betting on the American economy has always proved to be good. I'm a huge fan of Warren Buffett. He's a stock guy, so I get it. I'm not, but I get it. You're gonna be able to buy some stocks and likely some good companies at significant discounts, right? Apple, just for example, they're going to probably have a tough quarter just because they don't have enough units, right? Their manufacturing capacity is constrained. It's nothing about Apple's demand, right? At least demand long term. So there'll be a snapback rally. Is it Q3, Q2? We don't know. But I am pretty sure that this is going to get worse before it gets better. I don't know that we'll see another 4,000 point drop in a week. But I do know that last week was not a bubble, right? It didn't pop. I've actually had some people reach out. It's people want it to be the bubble popping because it'll make them feel better, right? Oh, I'll buy at the bottom. I'll buy when everybody's washed out. Well, from my perspective, last week was far too orderly. It was just, and you can look across the board, right? Everybody's down about 12 to 15%, with the exception of cruise lines, hotels, and not. They're down like 20%, which makes sense, right? They're the hardest hit by this, but I think they're going to hit harder. For example, it wouldn't shock me if some of the cruise lines are down 50% at the bottom of this thing. It also wouldn't shock me if some of these cruise lines are cash poor and they got to sell, right? Warren Buffett is a genius, and the fact that people make fun of him for having a huge billion or dollar or whatever it is, hundred, I don't know what it is. It's a lot of money. I think it was $130 billion in cash. Boy, he's about to go shopping. Stuff's about to be on sale. People are about to be desperate, and he's going to have the pick of the litter. So, good for him. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Pretty short video, but again, last week was not a bubble pop. I think, based on the weekend news, just like last weekend, the trend is not good. Certainly not good in the U.S. We seem to be on the cusp of, explosive growth. I am disheartened that California only had 200 test cases or test instruments or something. What the heck? I mean, I don't get what California's doing. It's just another example of poor government. But yeah, this is it's not good to say that this is going to get worse before it gets better. So in the end, make sure you take care of you and yours. Stay close. Don't let fear grab you. This will pass. Get ready to go shopping. No reason to rush in. It's got weeks, if not months, to find the bottom. And I'll talk to you every day. You can ask me questions. Don't forget we have subscriber questions. You can always leave a question below. If you're a subscriber, and to be a subscriber, hit subscribe. And you'll be notified every time we have these daily discussions. Again, I talk to you every day. This was sparked by Gary Vee, an interview he did with Nipsey Hussle, unfortunately, or before Nipsey Hussle unfortunately passed away, was murdered, actually. So have a wonderful day. I have to do my goals video, and then I got to go see my accountant. So take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. Bye.